What's up YouTube, this is URC Shadow and welcome to a strategy guide for Martin's level 45 mission mixed up with Coke. So for ages loads of people have been asking me to do a guide for this video, and personally I've always used a Buzzard, so I finally found the time to sit down and take a closer look at this mission and see if there's a nice easy way to complete this if you don't have a Buzzard. And I'm happy to say I think I found one that I think you guys will find nice and easy. So before we start, let's take a quick look at the payout table. If you complete this mission between 4 and 6 minutes, you'll get $10,350, and if you complete it between 6 and 8 minutes, you'll get $12,420. So therefore, completing it within 4 to 6 minutes will earn you $2,588 per minute. And of course, if we compare that to completing the mission in 15 minutes, which will only earn you $1,380 per minute. So let's get a quick overview of the mission. Bringing up the map, this mission all takes place in the middle of Los Santos, and the default starting location is just outside the entrance to this construction site, within which 2 cement mixers are inside, which we're going to have to destroy. Of course it's heavily guarded, so we'll look at how we do that in a second, but then after we've destroyed those 2, we'll have to go across town a little bit, find another cement mixer that we'll have to destroy, before going to the opposite end of town to take out the 4th and final cement mixer that's being guarded by a Buzzard. So there are 2 methods we're going to look at in this video. The first one is with a personal vehicle, but also with using a heavy sniper rifle and an AP pistol. You don't have to have these weapons, it just makes it easier, and we'll talk about alternatives in a second. This method is therefore available to everyone, rated the difficulty as medium, and the speed to medium to fast, as you definitely can complete this within 4 minutes with a bit of practice. The second method we're going to look at is with using the Buzzard Helicopter. This of course will only be available to those who've spent the $1.75 million price tag on the Buzzard. Difficulty I've rated as easy, and the speed for this one I've rated as fast. So let's look at the personal vehicle approach first and go from there. So as I mentioned, you're going to start outside the construction yard. Hopefully your car's nearby, so the first thing you're going to want to do is find where it is, get into it, and then head towards the entrance. Now instead of going in the entrance, we're going to take a left, and we're going to look for a lamppost on the right hand side and park in between that and the wall on the pavement right around here. Once you're in position, you're then going to want to climb on top of your car, pull out a heavy sniper rifle if you have one, and then take a peek inside the construction yard. Now more or less directly in front of you, you're going to find both the cement mixers, and underneath the cabs, you're going to find what look like barrels, but they're actually fuel tanks. So in a similar way to my Trash Talk mission strategy guide I did previously, we're basically going to want to target these fuel tanks to blow up the cement mixers as fast as possible. Make sure you know where they are before you start shooting, and you want to start with the furthest one away, as that's going to be harder to hit whilst you're under fire. These fuel tanks will take 2 shots to destroy with a heavy sniper rifle, and they'll take 4 shots to destroy with a standard sniper rifle. So once you've blown up 2 cement trucks, immediately get off your car so you can't be shot, and you'll notice on the radar there are now 2 more red dots that symbolise the other 2 cement trucks that you're going to need to take out. So get back in your car and then start heading towards the cement truck that's at the top of your map. Watch out for any enemy SUVs that are now turning up in the area, and use the square button on the PlayStation or the X button on Xbox to start cycling through your weapons to get to your best drive-by weapon. For me that's the AP pistol, but if you don't have that, something like the SMG will do. At the end of the construction site, take the left hand turn, head down this road, and then don't take the first right hand turn, instead take the second under this bridge here. Now you notice the cement truck is heading our way, so halfway down this road, depending on how fast you've been, you're going to want to do a 180 and get ready to try and drive by this cement truck as it approaches. Taking out the wheels is good, but your main objective here is to again hit that fuel tank a couple of times to blow up the cement truck so you can move on to your final target. Try not to let the enemy SUVs distract you, and just remember the longer it takes you to do this here, the further away the 4th and final cement truck is getting. Once you've blown it up, do a 180 and head back down the road the way you came. When you get to the junction, turn right, head past the entrance to the construction site, and all the way to the end of the road. Here you want to take a left and then immediately take a right, and then on the left hand side look out for the slip road or the down ramp onto the freeway. You'll be dealing with oncoming traffic, so watch out for that, but join the freeway and then start looking for a gap in the central reservation so you can get onto the proper side of the road. You'll find one just here before the tunnel. Now from this point you just want to haul ass down the freeway, try not to crash into anything, because any time lost here is only going to cost you as the cement truck you're chasing is getting further away. As you get closer, you'll notice on your minimap the enemy Buzzard. It's not too much to worry about here, he doesn't seem to use missiles these days, You may get a few shots at you near the road, but it's not too much of a threat. By now you should be catching up with the fourth and final cement truck, so make sure you're on his left hand side, take aim, keeping your distance so your car doesn't blow up, and once again target his fuel tank. With a few shots on target, you should blow up and the mission should be passed. So there we go, with a bit of practice, relatively straightforward and definitely achievable within the 4 minutes. So the other option for this is to use the Buzzard, assuming you've bought one. Same story again, starting in the same default location. You want to find your car, and then whilst you get into your car, bring up your phone, go to your contacts and call Pegasus. And then whilst it's ringing, you want to turn around the car and take a right hand turn and start driving down the road. At this point, Pegasus should answer. You want to choose the Buzzard Attack Helicopter, and you'll notice on your minimap that the helicopter is spawned quite nearby at the helipad by the marina. You want to head to the location of the Buzzard, and once you arrive, get out your car and get in the Buzzard. Once you're in the Buzzard, start taking off, and cycle around your weapons, which is square on the PlayStation or X on the Xbox, until you get to the homing missiles. And once you arrive at the construction site, you'll automatically start targeting the enemies. Unfortunately, the priority is going to be on people rather than the cement truck you need to blow up, so as long as you keep your distance and some height, there shouldn't be any threat to your personal safety, and you can just sit there taking everything out for as long as you like. Sometimes you'll be targeting people in between walls, which you won't be able to hit, so you may have to move around a little bit or change the direction you're facing just to bring up a new target. Eventually, you should be locking onto the cement truck, at which point you want to just let off a few missiles and blow it up. Once you've done that, you want to get some height, fly over the construction site, and basically repeat the same again, but on the other side, until again you blow up the second cement truck. This second cement truck does have some people very close to it, so you may find when you target those people, the cement truck gets caught in the explosion, which is a good thing, and you can then move on to the next target. So again, at this point, 2 more cement trucks will spawn on the map and show on your radar. So you want to go for the next one, which is 90 degrees left from where you're currently facing. Head towards that and fire off a few missiles as you lock on. Now you may find the missiles you fire as you're approaching miss. You'll just want to turn around as you overshoot the cement truck and fire off some more. It's pretty much a sit and duck, but try not to get distracted by the enemy SUVs that are probably turning up at this point. As soon as that cement truck's done, you want to head back the way you came and start towards your final target. If you happen to go past the construction site again, feel free to let off a few missiles, but again, don't let it distract you from your main goal, because that cement truck is getting further away all the time. So as you start to get closer, you remember there was a Buzzard before. It wasn't much of a threat when we were on the ground, however, in another Buzzard, it sometimes isn't afraid to use missiles. So you want to prioritise taking that out first. It shouldn't be too difficult to do. The main thing to remember here is a Buzzard's missiles will generally miss an aircraft if it's coming straight at you. But if you're firing at an aircraft that's trying to fly away from you, 99% of the times, your missiles will always find the target. With the Buzzard dispatched, you can then move on to the final cement truck, which depending on how fast you'll be, is either just preparing to get onto the freeway or is just joined. Should be relatively straightforward to take out with your missiles, and at that point, the mission's complete. And an extra little tip I should mention about using the Buzzard is that if you pass the mission whilst you're still in the air, then you'll find that if you go back to free mode afterwards, you will spawn back at the start location rather than where you were when you finished the mission, which makes it really good for repeating constantly and therefore grinding to get some good money. So anyway guys, I hope you found this useful. If you did, please feel free to support the channel with your likes and subscriptions, and feel free to check out all my other videos, strategy guides, tips and tricks videos, and how-to guides. Cheers guys, thanks for watching.